The global spotlight is now turned to Belém in Brazil as the crucial COP30 climate summit is now opening its doors, set against the backdrop of the Amazonian rainforest. World leaders have urged for decisive action to combat climate change. The COP30 President André Correa de Lago and Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva hosted the opening in the Amazonian city of Belém. Representatives from 190 countries are in attendance, and according to reports, instead of landing a new major climate deal, Brazil is now banking on action agenda at the United Nations COP30 conference to spur nations and businesses to deliver on existing commitments. And amongst those countries who have skipped the COP30 is the United States, the world's largest historic carbon polluter. The Brazilian President Lula da Silva urging the world leaders to defeat climate deniers and to take action against global warming.
Climate change is no longer a threat of the future. It is a tragedy of the present. Hurricane Melissa, which battered the Caribbean, and the tornado that struck the state of Paraná in southern Brazil, left fatalities and a trail of destruction. From droughts and wildfires in Africa and Europe to floods in South America and Southeast Asia, the rise in global temperatures spreads pain and suffering, especially among the most vulnerable populations. It's time to inflict another defeat on the deniers.
The Brazilian President Lula also slammed the money that was spent on making wars than tackling climate crisis.
The men who make war were here at this COP. They would realize that it's much cheaper to put $1.3 trillion towards solving the climate crisis than to spend $2.7 trillion on war, as they did last year.
Now, opening the COP30 climate conference, the United Nations Climate Executive Secretary Simon Steele announced that global efforts are now bending the curve of planet heating emissions downwards.
Good news is we're not starting from nothing. The Paris Agreement is delivering real progress. We're now bending the curve of planet heating emissions downwards for the very first time. The new NDCs, including many received in recent days, will reduce emissions by 12% in 2035.
The demonstrators in Belém gathered outside of the agri-zone, a dedicated agriculture zone at COP30, and they protested against the industrial agriculture's impact on indigenous lands and shared the stories of its effects on their homes and communities. Now, activists in Belém in Brazil are now taking a creative approach to urge the rich polluters to take responsibility for the climate crisis on the first day of COP30. A projected message on a building showed a globe being buried by sand in an hourglass, accompanied by a street performance with a fake cobra, referencing the Alliance of the Peoples for the Climate slogan, "We Charge." For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.